I'm Derek, and I'm from Boom Goes the Drum. The idea for our guest at Look 2016 actually came from Look 2015. I walked in on a conversation between Adam Gopnik and Dan Levy, and they were talking about contemporary art. I happened to overhear Adam Gopnik say, you know who would be great is my friend Steve. He would be so great for this event. And Dan was agreeing with him, and I said, so, okay, well, how do we get this guy Steve's number and get him to come and help us? Fast forward to Look 2016, and we ended up working with Steve Martin, and as an artist himself in many different forms, he was wholeheartedly interested in coming and helping us talk about that. Look 2016 was the third annual flagship fundraiser for Contemporary Calgary. Really, the vision is more about creating a city that is a destination of choice for people around the world. Guest experience at Look is, in a big way, rooted in the location, which is a 50-year-old building on the outskirts of downtown that has been mostly vacant for the last 5 years. And for one night, we get to provide, a premium food and beverage experience for people, a premium guest engagement experience. Everything is high touch, and it's contrasted by these stark, brick brutalist structures that don't have a lot of life outside of that one night. This year we got to do something we've never done before, which is create a pop-up restaurant as a part of the VIP experience. So we had 150 people that came in to experience this one-time restaurant, one-time only guest dining experience that was a little bit unexpected, I think, for most people, because I think they thought they were gonna come in and sort of have a meal, but they didn't know that it was gonna have all of these twists and turns. And as part of that, the keynote from Adam Gopnik really sort of started to plant the seeds of, what is this whole thing about art that we're talking about? Because you go and you see art and you experience it, but beyond that, there's so much that happens to be able to get that art in front of people, and there's so much required to be able to have that conversation of why art is important. And while that's happening, we have this whole other group of people coming in, and they are experiencing these animated spaces in different ways than the first guests did. So these people that have just had this really great meal and have been experiencing this really great conversation around art, then come down and join the rest of the group, and these different groups start to come and become one group that then culminates in the theater experience. There's a lot of things that happen on the back end for us to be able to create this sort of smooth, seamless theater experience. Getting people into seats, figuring out how to get paddles into hands so that people can bid and donate. And then we have Steve Martin and Adam Gopnik come and talk about art for the best 45 minutes of my entire life. And Steve Martin brought his banjo. And it was awesome, and it was a surprise, and we didn't know it was gonna happen. And he played his banjo for us, which was, it was just such a great way to top an untoppable experience. Untoppable word. So after all of this conversation, all of this talk of art, people are ready to put their money where their mouths are, and the crown jewel in the evening, an unparalleled collection of contemporary art all up for bids that you can't get anywhere else for people who are art lovers. And it becomes electric. You become drunk on art by the time you leave. I took a piece of art home. It's so infectious that even Steve Martin came back and helped us auction off an amazing Chris Cran piece. So by the time the art auction was finished, everyone was just ready to party. And so that's what we did. We had the Modern Leisure bring in a curated collection of artists and musicians that created this factory party that was like the next generation of Andy Warhol-inspired artists and hipsters and scenesters and the whole thing. So these people are in this experience of this sort of highbrow art auction and watching these pieces go for tens of thousands of dollars. And then you walk out of that room and it's like, there's some dude like headbanging to a band next to a guy in a tuxedo who just bought a $40,000 piece of art. And what happens when those two worlds kind of collide, there's this feeling that there's a momentum and an energy, and it definitely felt like there was a moment. Through the success of the event and the efforts of Contemporary Calgary and their committees and their volunteers and the people that are engaged in the board, Look walked away with over $3 million raised. We had something like 1,200 people that came through the building. It was like beautiful, controlled chaos. It was so much fun. Hey, thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe to our channel and click here for more from Boom Goes the Drum.